This is like a parable, but it looks different, doesn't it? I mean, there's a picture on top. Who is in the picture? That's right. It's the Mother Mary with the baby Jesus. It shows the Incarnation, which is a big word about how God became a baby. I wonder if inside we will find something about the mystery of Christmas. Shall we open it? This box has the whole story in it. Parts of the Christmas story are not told very often, but it needs to be told, even the sad parts. Look, do you see what is happening to the Mother Mary? This is the Annunciation. The angel Gabriel is announcing to Mary that God has chosen her to be the Mother of God. Do you see Mary? Do you see the angel? They have the same colors, but the angel has wings. Mary was scared, but happy. She was stunned, but blessed. Mary was lucky because she had an older friend to talk to. It was Elizabeth. She went to visit her cousin Elizabeth. Elizabeth was much older, maybe even old enough to be Mary's mother. When Mary came close to Elizabeth and greeted her, something wonderful happened. Elizabeth felt the baby inside her move when he heard Mary's voice. She said something like this: "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the baby you are going to have." When you spoke, the baby within me jumped. Something wonderful was going to happen with your baby, and with mine too. When Elizabeth said that, Mary began to sing a song people call the Magnificat, because it begins, "My soul magnifies the Lord." Look at the halos. These are the gold circles of light around some of the people. They are the holy ones. The artist used real gold in his paint, or he beat the gold out very, very thin and pressed it into the paint and plaster to make these gold halos. In this picture, the ones with the halos are Mary and Elizabeth. See how young Mary is? Look how old Elizabeth looks. The artist wanted us to remember that Elizabeth was too old to have a baby and was old enough to be really wise and a good friend to Mary. Wait, let me finish the story. This is the part of the story that people often leave out because there's no picture for it. It's about the other baby that was born. Elizabeth's husband, Zachariah, was a priest. It was his time to work at the temple. So he went inside to burn incense and pray. While Zachariah was at the altar, he glanced over to his right, and there was a bright light. Don't be afraid, the angel said. Angels are messengers from God, and they are scary. But the angel said, don't be afraid. I bring you good news. You and Elizabeth will have a baby. But we are too old, Zachariah said. And that was the last thing he said. The angel took away his words. It's not a good idea to argue with an angel. The angel then told Zachariah what the baby's name was supposed to be and disappeared. Mary stayed 3 months with Elizabeth and then went home to Nazareth. Elizabeth had her baby. Friends came to help her. When the baby was born, they all wanted to name him Zachariah after his father. Zachariah shook his head. No. And then he wrote, the baby's name is John. When they named the baby John, Zachariah could speak again. It was then that he said his prayer. It's called the Benedictus because it is a poem or a song of praise that begins, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel. He was so happy. Then Mary's baby was born. That's why this is called the Nativity, which means the birth. See how the Mother Mary is lying down? She is awake and happy, but Joseph is asleep. Joseph was like a father, but the baby was born from God. The baby is wrapped in strips of cloth. These strips are the swaddling clothes you sometimes hear about in the story. Look at all the angels. They are so happy. They are flying all over and singing, Gloria in excelsis. You may have heard this song in church. It sings, Glory to God in the highest, peace to his people on earth. This is another part of the story that is often left out. It is called the presentation. After a time, Mary and Joseph took their new little baby to the temple in Jerusalem. It was a custom to present a new baby to celebrate his name and to dedicate the baby to God. When Mary and Joseph took the baby into the temple to be dedicated to God, an old man named Simeon came up and looked at the baby. He took the baby in his arms and said, Now I can die in peace. What was he talking about? When Simeon was younger, God told him that he would not die before seeing the Holy One who was coming and who would change everything. That day, Simeon knew that Jesus was the one he had been waiting for. Then old Anna came up and looked at the baby. She also saw that this was the Holy One. So she gave thanks to God and told everyone in the temple what had happened. Simeon is holding the baby. Mary is still holding out her arms. Joseph is bringing 2 birds to the temple. That was the custom in those days. Here is old Anna. She loved to be in the temple as much as she could. I don't know why she doesn't have a halo. But look at her coat. At first, it looks brown and old, but if you look closely, it seems to be all gold. When old Simeon held the baby, he said a prayer that we remember and sometimes sing. It begins, Lord, now lettest thou servant depart in peace. The three kings, the Magi, the wise ones, finally arrived. They were late. Every year they are late. They are adoring the baby. That means they're just standing there and looking at the baby, enjoying him. They also brought presents. Look at the star. This is the wild star they have been following. The artist didn't know very much about camels, and he knew that they had long necks and a hump and long legs, but look at their faces. They look more like donkeys. See their long ears? That doesn't matter. We still know what he was trying to paint. This is the part of the story that is often left out. It's no wonder people don't tell this part of the story. It was too sad. It's called the Massacre of the Innocents. The three kings followed the star to the land where Jesus was born. When they came into the land, they went to see the king, King Herod, in Jerusalem. When King Herod heard them say that they were looking for a baby king, he was very interested. He did not want the baby to grow up. Herod wanted to be the only king in the land. Come and tell me what you know. Tell me when you find this king, he told the Magi. I want to come and worship him. Herod was not telling the truth. He wanted to kill the new little king. The three kings, the wise men, did not tell Herod. They went home by another way. They really were wise. But Herod did not forget. He asked his scholars to look in the scriptures and find where it said the king would be born. They told Herod that the place would be Bethlehem. Herod sent his soldiers there, and they killed every baby boy they could find who was 2 years old or younger. It was a terrible thing. The mothers and fathers were very sad. You can see that many babies already had been killed. The soldiers took them from their mothers. No one really looks happy in this picture, not even Herod. Look at the mother's eyes. The artist tried to make them look very, very sad. See how long and narrow they are? I guess the story's over then, isn't it? No. The baby Jesus did not die in Bethlehem. An angel came to Joseph in a dream before the soldiers arrived. The angel told Joseph to take his little family to another country. They fled far away to the land of Egypt. Mary and the baby rode on the donkey, and Joseph led the way. When Jesus grew into greatness, the mystery of Christmas increased.